Hey there, I'm looking to get some round drops and a few magic walnuts if you have them. No problem. How many do you need? Just 7 of the round drops and like 3 of the walnuts. Of course, here you go. Thanks. Enjoy. Come back soon. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I gotta ask. Why are you doing that? Doing what? Dancing? That weird thing, that dance you're doing? Why? Yeah, this is my shopkeeper dance. Okay, well, I'm not telling you how to run your shop here, but like the dance isn't good. Well, that's your opinion. Yeah, but it's just weirding me out. Like I don't want to shop here if you're gonna dance like that the whole time. Well, I have customers who say they come to shop here just because of my dancing. They love it. Really? Yeah, most of them actually. Do I get a discount if I dance too? Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. No. I hate this world. Let's be honest, modern gaming is a mess. Half-finished games, overpriced DLC, and live services that vanish the moment a spreadsheet says nope. That's why we here at the Dusty Games Society retreat to the Dusty Games. I'll tell you more about the DGS at the end of the video, but first, we have a game to share. This month, we've been playing a game that was trapped in Japan for years, and we had no idea what we were missing. Seiken Densetsu 3, aka Trials of Mana. An action RPG with gorgeous SNES pixel art, a wild cast of heroes, and a story that changes depending on who you bring along for the ride. And I hope you're ready because I'm going to bring you along for the ride of this review. Are you ready? You've probably heard of Secret of Mana. Most folks in the West have, but surprise! That's actually the second game in the Mana series. The first was Final Fantasy Adventure on the Game Boy, which, despite its name, isn't really a Final Fantasy game. Square just slapped that title on it to boost sales. Trials of Mana, or Seiken Densetsu 3, is the third game, but unlike its older siblings, this one stayed locked away in Japan for years. It wasn't until much later that we finally got an official release in the Collection of Mana on the Switch, and a full 3D remake for modern platforms. But long before Square decided to share, the fan translation scene had already done the work. I played the fan translation myself. I like the dialogue writing better and also the font. I'll link to the patch below if you want to go full Dusty Dweeb mode. The world of Trials of Mana is in trouble. Again, the mana tree is dying, ancient monsters are breaking free, and it's up to a ragtag group of anime misfits to save the world by collecting magical things and unlocking their hidden powers and punching evil in the face. Each hero has their own personal drama, but their stories all weave together into a bigger quest to stop the big bad guy from reviving the forces of darkness, or whatever. At the start of the game, you're going to pick your party from a cast of 6 characters, and this is one spot that is a pivotal moment because you're literally choosing the story of the game, and also the skills and stuff that you have throughout the game. But the game doesn't tell you which character does what. Obviously, you're meant to read up on this before you play, which is what I suggest you do. You've got Duran, the classic swordsman. Angela is a mage who nukes everything with powerful elemental spells. Kevin is a brawling beastman who punches faces and can heal sometimes. Carly, the dedicated healer and support, but with, let's say, polarizing dialogue. Hawk, who is a speedy thief who specializes in debuffs and status effects. And Lise is a spear-wielding Amazon babe who summons spirits. Again, you wouldn't know any of this if you didn't read up before you played because the game doesn't tell you. I chose Hawk as my main guy and Duran and Charlie as my members. Basically 2 melee fighters and a healer, which worked out great, but if I was doing it again, I would pick something that offered more variety in the combat just so I had more to do. At its heart, Trials of Mana is an action RPG. You run around real-time battlefields, hack away at enemies, and occasionally stop to sling a spell or use an item. It's simple, but that's part of the thing, the whole package. After a while, you realize it's not as much of an action RPG, but more of a real-time party management game. You're not worrying as much about positioning or timing or whatever, more jumping back and forth between your characters, making sure they're doing what they need to do, casting spells at the right time, using items, or forcing them to use their super move if they forget. The goobers you'll fight in the world all feel pretty samey. The combat can become repetitive, especially in the mid-game, and it can feel a bit mindless at times, but it does start to get more interesting as your characters learn new skills and you have more tools at your disposal. And I felt like the boss battles are where the combat system comes together. They're creative, they require you to actually think and plan stuff, they're pretty chaotic, and they usually require a unique strategy. Progression in Trials of Mana happens on two fronts, your characters and the story. And they're all kind of smushed up together like I do with my corn and my potatoes. You'll be traveling the world, visiting towns, helping people, finding MacGuffins that progress the story, sailing on ships, and when you unlock fast travel, the way the game handles this, it's so cool. Riding a giant turtle around a Mode 7 landscape never gets old. Early on, you'll unlock your first class change, which lets you specialize your party into different roles. For example, Duran can go full tank or damage dealer. Angela can branch into elemental destruction or a more supportive spellcasting thing. Each class has a different light and dark path. Twice. So you can go light or dark or dark or light dark, and each is quite different. The game doesn't explain any of this, so please, for the love of mana, read a guide before you commit. The fun comes from planning builds and unlocking new abilities and seeing how the class paths affect your playstyle, not from getting stuck, unable to progress, which can happen if you make all the wrong choices. The story progression is where things get spicy. You pick one main character, which is going to be the main story arc you see. You're going to see everything from their perspective. And for your two companions, they'll tag along with their own little side drama. But a lot of content, including villains, bosses, and even dungeons, is exclusive to certain character paths. So it's this cool system that encourages replays, but it does mean that you'll always feel like you're only seeing a slice of the full Seiken Densetsu pie. If you enjoy replaying games with new setups, this one rewards you for that. You can play again and again, swap out a character, and boom, new story, and your backlog just got a lot longer. Like so many games that get added to my to-play list, what drew me towards this game at first was the art. Trials of Mana is one of the SNES's crowning achievements. The pixel art here is among the best I've seen, ever. The environments are lush and vibrant, tons of little small things to notice all over the place, great visual effects that push the hardware. If you're into just sightseeing in your games, this game is amazing for that. You'll travel through misty forests, shimmering lakes, volcanic caves, and colorful towns populated by shopkeepers that all do this same weird dance for some reason. The character sprites are large and expressive, and the enemy designs are full of personality, and the bosses often take up half the screen, making every encounter feel like a big event. I will say that the actual design of the enemies leans towards the cute side. Sometimes I felt like I walk into a new forest and there's all these cute little squishy things that it should be a nice place, but then they try to rip my face off. So I slaughter the lot of them. It's just a bit of a weird juxtaposition that all these enemies are adorable, but they just want you dead. The music is nice, good variety, upbeat field themes and intense boss battle music, nice crunchy, satisfying combat sound effects and stuff. One thing that I thought the game would have benefited from was maybe some more enemy sounds. I feel like these adorable sprites should be making cute little chirpy noises that feel distinct, but you don't get much of that kind of thing. But it's not all sunshine and pickles. I had a few gripes that kept me from loving the game as much as the other great SNES RPGs. The game's about 25 hours long, which is not bad, but a huge chunk of that is spent mowing down screen after screen of enemies that all feel the same. You're gonna need to grind levels because bosses act as progress gates and they won't let you through unless you're tough enough. And honestly, the combat can get pretty darn repetitive. Even after unlocking new skills, I found myself just holding the attack and waiting for the fight to be over, and then moving along and doing it again and again. Fancy spells and items just felt like too much work when I could just hit things until they fall down. And I'll confess, I resorted to using a few cheats to ease the burden. A money cheat so I didn't have to grind for gold, and also a few times I fast forwarded through some level grinds. I just wanted to get back to the fun parts, not waste an hour bonking mush booms for pocket change. The story itself is good. It's not mind-blowing, but it's enough to keep you moving forward. The problem is finding out where to move forward. It's one of those games where if you didn't catch that one line of NPC dialogue, you're just going to be lost until you stumble into the right cutscene. Or if you're like me, you'll just sigh and look up a guide, because who has time for that? And then there's the menus. Navigating them mid-battle feels like digging through a backpack full of loose junk while someone's pelting you with dodgeballs. And the out-of-battle menus are pretty slow and annoying. It's definitely one area that makes the game feel like an old game, not in a good way. That said, I haven't finished the game. I'm about 15 hours in, I think, but I am absolutely going to keep playing this. And I've already given some thought to what I'm going to be doing for my second playthrough. I love this game, despite my gripes. It's not perfect, but it is a wonderful slice of SNES era RPG charm. I had so much fun playing this last month, and we have a new game that we're playing this month, but I don't want to stop. I'm having so much fun with this, and I want to see it through. If you enjoy building parties and thinking through skill progression and experimenting with class systems and exploring gorgeous pixel worlds, you're gonna have a blast with this game. You just need a little patience to push through the early game slog and deal with your AI companions not doing their best impression of a confused squirrel, and definitely keep a guide on hand when you need it, but it is so worth overcoming those hurdles, because what awaits you here is a game that rewards curiosity. It rewards exploration and also just rewards playing, even if you have already, because you'll discover new story bits and new classes and new ways to approach combat. The class system is genuinely one of the coolest aspects of the game once you get into it. Yeah, the story is light and the combat can be repetitive and the game doesn't hold your hand, but that's kind of the charm of lots of these old dusty classics. They're a little janky and a little rough, but full of heart. Like me. But the Dusty Game Society isn't a one dweeb show, and we had a whole bunch of Dusty Dweebs taking part this month, so let's hear what they had to say, shall we? Jefferson thought this was an absolute gem and appreciated having a more focused gaming experience playing with the Dusty Game Society. Found the writing a bit iffy for some characters, but the gameplay and story makes up for it. Farwalker has loved this game for years, especially its art and music, even if the pacing isn't perfect. Still considers it a top-tier Super Famicom title and says both the original and its excellent remake are well worth playing. Rhyme bounced off Trials of Mana after a few hours. She liked the gorgeous pixel art but found the story underwhelming. Instead, she pivoted to playing the first Mana game, Final Fantasy Adventure, and ended up loving it. And now I kind of want to try that one too. Da Sweep joined the DGS for the first time this month. Welcome, my friend. And he had a blast with Trials of Mana. Loved the pixel art, music, and character variety, although he found the menus clunky and the spell and item usage frustrating. The final boss dragged on way too long, but overall, he had a great time and is excited for the next DGS adventure. This was the Shibushi's first JRPG and found it a perfect starting point. Simple to grasp with stunning SNES pixel art and fun team customization. Loved how the combat ramps up after class changes, but mentioned the frustrating enemy chain attacks and slow early in-game pace. And encourages new players to stick with it until it picks up. Lady Astolat thinks travel by canon is the way of the future. I hope you're wrong about that. House of Who Cares joined their first DGS this month but didn't finish the game and feels like she missed an assignment. I'll let it slide this time, young lady, and probably all future times too. She struggled with the first boss and lost interest, but adored the game's aesthetic and would have loved just wandering around Rabbite Forest. Got sidetracked by Dungeons & Dragons Temple of Doom instead. We've all been there. Grizzpire joined the DGS for the first time, expecting legal drama, but got a different kind of trial. Played the remake on the Steam Deck and enjoyed the story, class progression, and improved combat, though Carly's voice acting was unfortunate. Plans to finish it soon and gives it 4 out of 5 weirdly dancing shopkeepers. Beowulf 410 is still working through the game but is loving it so far, especially the character-specific stories that encourage replays. Praised the English translation, art, and combat. Olorin thought that Trials of Mana was visually one of the best on the SNES. Enjoyed the action RPG combat, was glad to play it, and gave it 8 out of 10. The DBR just joined the DGS and is loving the community. We're glad to have you with us, buddy. After a rough attempt with an all-support party, a team reshuffle made the game click. Found a fan-translated manual to help and is excited to finish. 7.5 out of 10. Jot and was thrilled with this month's pick, being a longtime fan of the Mana series. Loved revisiting the game and sharing progress with fellow DGS members, which made it even more fun. Gave it a totally biased 9 out of 10 Rabbites. Judy B didn't have time to play much, but we'll come back to it when she can give it more time. And that's one of the best parts about retro games. They're not going anywhere. GPU started on a retro handheld, switched to the modern version for readability, and enjoyed the story and character interactions early on. But after 11 hours, the grind wore them down, and they bailed when Donkey Kong Bonanza dropped. Balanex didn't have time to join in this month, but still recommends Trials of Mana to everyone. Norazar had mixed feelings about Trials of Mana. Loved the SNES visuals and the character-driven story setup, but felt the plot didn't come together and the combat was repetitive and didn't compare to the other great SNES RPGs, but plans to keep chipping away at it. I would like to thank all of the DGS members who took part this month. I had a great time playing this, and it was so cool to see the same game I'm playing through other people's eyes at the same time. The Dusty Game Society is a retro game club that I run for my patrons. Those cool cats who support me in this important work that I do. Each month I pick a game for us to play together. We play, share our thoughts, we help each other out. It's like a book club, but instead of reading books like nerds, we play retro games. Like nerds. And if that sounds like your kind of nonsense, you can join using the link below. No pressure, but all the cool kids are doing it. Just saying. And that's it. That's all we have for you today. A little look at Seiken Densetsu 3. What makes it tick, and if it seems like your kind of thing, definitely check it out. And if you do, please share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this one. But that'll do it from us for today. From all of us at the Dusty Game Society, stay dusty, my friends.